Principles of sports nutrition.
Our blood type is like our hair, eye color, and voice pattern. It's a genetic blueprint for who we are and is medically recognized as a method for interpreting variations in health and disease. Basically, there are four blood types: blood type O, A, B, and AB. This is called the ABO blood group system. No one knows with absolute certainty why humans ended up with four different blood types. We just know that we do. Although anthropologists and geneticists and biologists, when looking at the phasic element of evolutionary biology and things like natural selection and adaptation, have a pretty good idea. As the human race moved about the planet hunting and gathering for survival over thousands of years, new foods and changes in the environment led to adaptations in our physiology and morphology, which allowed us to survive. Theoretically, one of these biological patterns of adaptation included changes in blood type. Each blood type has a unique antigen, or a chemical marker, with its own chemical structure and produces antibodies to other blood types. Most of us have agglutinin antibodies that occur naturally in our blood plasma, and it is these special guardians that react to the presence of incompatible blood. If the wrong blood is donated to someone in need of a blood transfusion, antigen antibody complexes are formed. This reaction activates an immune response in the form of plasma proteins produced by the complement family. Complement proteins are extremely powerful and will damage the donated blood cells, causing them to burst and release hemoglobin, which can then cause significant damage to the kidneys. Mainstream conventional medicine denies any connection between blood type and food. Yet the investigative research of both Dr. Peter D'Adamo and his father, Dr. James D'Adamo, provides evidence to the contrary. In his best-selling book, Eat Right for Your Type, 1996, Dr. Peter D'Adamo reveals important information about blood and its connection to health and disease. Perhaps most significantly, he instills the knowledge and insight about long-term prevention of chronic degenerative disease. Many foods contain protein structures called lectins, which are incompatible with specific blood type antigens. Lectins are defined as proteins that bind or cross-link with carbohydrates. Gluten, for example, is one of the most common lectins, and look how many people are intolerant to gluten. And the research that's going on now in the area of our connection to wheat and a number of different foods that most people take for granted, but in theory and with evidence to support this, these are the wrong foods. In other words, our staple food in North America, for the most part, is wrong, it's incompatible, and we should be utilizing other foods that are more compatible with our blood type. Over time and through personal experience, I have established a very definite negative response to foods not recommended for my blood type, such as corn, peanuts, and tomatoes. And much of what D'Adamo says makes perfect sense. I've also seen many of my clients improve their health status by following the general recommendations of research scientists and clinicians who are studying this phenomenon. In the very least, and whether you agree with this concept of food being at all relative to blood type, that blood type and food are somehow connected, and eating the wrong food causes the wrong response, eating the right food causes the best response. Either way, no matter how you see this, you'll discover by reading Eat Right for Your Blood Type and others that D'Adamo has published why people are attracted to and engaged in this very popular paradigm. Understanding the wherefore and the why always helps improve our tolerance and, even better, our acceptance to new ideas. And this is a fairly new idea, and that's why there's so much resistance, so much opposition. When anybody rocks the boat, there's always going to be a group of people with vested interests who are going to try and persuade us that these new concepts and new ideas are wrong. In fact, most of the time they're not, especially when there's evidence to support them, because much of what we think we know about health and disease is in fact not based on any actual evidence. It's what we think, not what we know. So, what is your blood type? Most people don't know. If you want to know, number 1, you can call your physician and ask if they have your blood type on file. 2, you can donate your blood to an organization like the Red Cross. 3, you can attend a public or trade-related health show and find an exhibitor who is providing on-the-spot blood type assessment. 4, you can make an appointment with your physician to have your blood type determined. And 5, you can order an ABO blood type home self-test kit at www.dadamo.com. That's www.diadamo.com or dadamo.com. If you think that the blood coursing through your veins and arteries and pumped through your vascular system is important, you're right. And guess what? There's definitely a connection between the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, and the lifestyle that we live, and the quality of our blood. In the very least, you're going to get some new knowledge and new information, and all of that adds up into improving your ability to know self, and that empowers you and will give you much more confidence as a human being.